Down by the bay,
there you go,
where the
fixed.
watermelons grow.
Okay, that's enough. Okay, officially, welcome everybody. Welcome back to the Ash of Creation discussion round, the longest running podcast for Ashen. I wish everybody a happy new year and welcome to 2021. Yeah,
It's not starting off any better than 2020 was.
You guys want to talk about that real quick?
I don't know. It's gonna get political. It's gonna get political.
No, I don't want to talk. I just want to talk about. I don't want to talk about anything political. I don't want to talk about what's happening in the States. I want to talk about the fact that it's 2021. Everybody assumed it would be better, but it already starts out really bad.
I feel like it just started. You gotta let some things that were in the works in 2020 kind of start to.
Yeah, we're not gonna come into 2021 like instantly have a cure for COVID. Like the COVID cure is supposed to come in like the middle of the the middle of the year. We'll start coming out in the middle of the year. People are getting vaccinated.
The Queen already got vaccinated, so
yeah, people are already getting vaccinated. But I think everyone's I think the projection is everyone's supposed to be we're all supposed to be in the clear somewhere in the middle of the year.
All right. Okay. So what should be our first topic?
Well, we haven't been on so we have live stream. We have a director's letter. We have
Didn't we talk about the live stream? We talked about the
live stream.
Did we talk about
Yeah. Did we last time?
We talked about the whole raid boss thing. We talked about that.
Right. We did do that.
I mean, we can talk about the letter.
Director's letter, and then you had a topic about.
Yeah, I saw somebody made a video, and I watched it, and I have nothing against I don't know the person who made it. I have nothing against the individual who made it. I just have a fucking. There's gonna be a lot of cursing today. I'm in a really cursy mood. They're just that mindset, just literally, I don't like that mindset, and I want to talk about that.
Okay, sounds like fun.
All right, so you guys want to talk about the letter first?
Yeah, it sounds like we'll get emotional towards the end. So
we will get emotional. There will be tears. I'm not gonna lie, there will be tears. So the letter will.
You want to go ahead?
Yeah.
All
right. So the letter dropped. What is this number? 675?
Yeah, somewhere around that area. Yeah,
I lost count. So
it kind of feels like we've had more than that, but we haven't because they only come every quarter, and sometimes they don't, and sometimes a couple of them have been mixed together. So in the late, but yeah, somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay. Okay. So all right, before we get into the stuff that I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for again, this quick question to you, I liked the letter. It was a solid letter. It was a good letter. There was a lot of passion in that letter, and I liked the letter as a whole.
Can we have an overview of the letter first, because some of us might not have read the whole letter?
Seriously, I am to our viewers. Just a little insight on how this podcast works. We don't do any preparation. Yoni writes a couple topics, I set up all the other stuff, and we go live, and that's it. Just FYI. Okay, you want to do...
I think we're the only ones watching at the moment.
Yeah, I know, so fuck it. Well, this is going on YouTube later, and on Reddit, and Reddit fucking loves me. Kidding.
Reddit does love BCG, and we get some comments every now and then.
Oh, I love the comments. They're literally. It's like salt.
The comments,
just sap.
The comments on Reddit and the comments on YouTube. I like to. I go back and read all the time, and I do enjoy them.
Okay, so you want to go through the letter first? Okay.
Yeah.
okay, so the first portion of the letter was like, 2020 is over, 2021, is yeah, Steven even says, and 2021 is shaping up to be a contender. So, there's that. They were talking about the whole, benefits and the good things, the bad things about, working from home, or that stuff. They looked back at, all like, the like I said, the benefits and the positives about working from home. They posted, and this is something that I want to rant about a little bit. Not really rant; it's more like personal taste thing. Is the Elder Dragon?
I want to talk about the Elder Dragon too,
because the thing that I have with that is the same thing Yoni has with the fucking bears.
I'm about to say the same thing. I'm about to say the exact same thing. We've seen this dragon 3 times, and there are some variations between each of the time we've seen it. This time it's blue. BCG said it was an ice dragon in his, but I think it's honestly just because it's blue.
You see,
if you look at the wings, it's each one has like slight variations, and with the first time we see this dragon, it's a red variation. That was back in, I think, 2019, November 2019. Then we see it again in December 2020 as a green dragon on the stream, and then now we get it again in the director's letter, 2021, as the blue dragon. Red dragon, everyone would love the fuck out of it. We got some Elder Dragon stuff. We talked about it in the podcast. We talked about it again when we saw it as Green Dragon on the podcast. This time it's mossy. It looks like the Forest Dragon looked like. They added moss to it. It's the same horn, same structure all the time. It's just each time they've changed the colors a little bit, and I don't think we got a back view of it. So I can't really say all that's changed between the blue version and the red version. I honestly just think they're just different colors.
It looks like, so the red one, so on the blue one, just like, okay, the red one has scales that go under it, where this blue one has like this dotty texture. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be ice or what, or ice crystals or something. But the red one has like the scales that you see like along these wings going along its belly. It looks like the blue one doesn't have that.
Yeah, here's the thing that bothers me. Okay, it's not a bad thing, all right, but it's also not like the greatest thing ever. The issue that I have with this whole reskin of the dragon, because for me personally it is a reskin, right?
Yeah.
I don't mind having reskins for certain NPCs, like no problem whatsoever. Like for example, slimes, goblins, trolls. Like you can reskin that all day long, fine by me. But when it comes to something like an Elder Dragon, right?
This gigantic world boss clammy level
like
thing.
Elder Dragons in any Dungeons and Dragons, any fantasy games where you mention Elder Dragons, right? They are these super powerful, entities, and
forces of nature.
Exactly. And I feel like a game that did a really, really good job with the whole Elder Dragon thing is Guild Wars 2. Right? Are they called Elder Dragons in Guild Wars 2?
They're called Elder Dragons, and each one is extremely different from each other.
Exactly.
They all have a different...
yeah, but they also serve a slightly different role.
Yeah.
Elder Dragons in Guild Wars 2, those were like the big antagonists. And Elder Dragons in here, they're going to be like giant threats. But our big antagonists are the ancients.
Yeah, okay, but how often do you think we're gonna run into Elder Dragons? Let's be honest here. Like, how often do you think we're gonna run into Elder Dragons?
I don't know how often, but they'll probably be like a high tier raid threat. They're going to be something that will probably show up based off the status of certain nodes. I don't think they're going to be usually used for narrative purposes, though, if that makes sense. So they're going to be a big challenge, but they're not going to be a big part of the narrative, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. You're saying, you know, like for something that is that, you know, like big or like important. Okay, don't want to say important. Like powerful, right? Like I would say Elder Dragons are on a world boss level, right?
Oh yeah, they're going to be a world boss.
Yeah, so
it's just not going to be a world boss that's tied to the narrative.
Yeah, I mean, I know that. I'm not talking about like the story-wise. Right? I'm just talking about if it's an Elder Dragon, if it's something like big, massive. You know, make it look a little bit different than, you know, like the Fire Dragon is a Fire Dragon, Earth Dragon is an Earth Dragon, Ice Dragon is an Ice Dragon. They don't have to, you know, look the same just with a different hair color.
I mean, I kind of like seeing them keep it simple.
I mean,
just so like they can get more variety of things out. But I would like to see
how is it
more variation in the head, or at least in the horns.
How is it more? How is it more variety when it's just reskins?
No, he's talking about like keeping these simple so they can get more variety in other things.
Like what?
So it's like we can get like different like golem bosses, because I mean I imagine the only tier 6 world bosses. I imagine there'd be more than just world dragons. There'll be a chance of, I don't know, golems or demons, or probably not demons, but like stuff like that. Not everything's going to be a dragon at the end of the node.
Dragons are like a staple of fantasy, and I'm a big dragon guy. And there are like dragons are in every culture in the world, have like very, very like extremely differently. Even in Dungeons and Dragons, Steven's a big Dungeons and Dragons Pathfinder guy. Dragons have very distinct differences between them, other than just scale color. Like you have the metallic dragons, the chromatic dragons, both in D&D and Pathfinder. It's more than just their scale color that's different. They have very distinct differences between them. In pretty much any fantasy story that I've read or played through or just like watched anything, if you have different kinds of dragons other than just this one species, that there is distinct variations. And I like seeing variations in the dragon. Like I'm a big dragon guy. And it does sadden me to see just recolors of the same Elder Dragon. Because the Elder Dragon is because you can make like the lesser, like the drakes and stuff like that, like the smaller ones that you put as like trash mobs all over the place. You can like the drakes, the babies, like the mounts and all that, like the varying age differences. You can kind of like generalize those a little bit. But when it comes to the Elder Dragon, when they're full-fledged form, that's when they're matured and all their features should be like really showing. And they are the world bosses, and you don't want world bosses are the one thing you probably don't want to be generalized the most. They should be very distinct between each other.
I don't know. Like I mean, like on one side, they look awesome. I'm not gonna deny that. It just like I'm big on dragons, right? And dragons for me, if they are something like an Elder Dragon, they should, at least in my opinion, they should have more character, right? Like you got sub dragons, you got dragons, you got wyverns, you got all different kinds of dragon sub races, right? You got dragons sub races, and then above the dragons you have elder dragons, right? And then the dragon gods and all that stuff. But elder dragons are like something that is kind of special, and I really hope that even in Ashes that the dragons, especially the Elder Dragons, that there's some more lore behind them, except like, yeah, this is an Elder Dragon. Like, they've been around for thousands of years, otherwise there wouldn't be an Elder Dragon, so there should be a little bit more story to that.
That's the thing, is like Elder Dragon, like when you say Elder Dragon, in most stories, like an Elder Dragon, that's a dragon that's like lived for thousands of years, and general storytelling, like fantasy stuff, they are almost god level beings. Like they have been around so long, and they're so powerful. They either like, depending on the story, they've consumed magic. In some cultures, like, they actually are deities themselves. And there's so many different varieties, like you said, there's so many like subspecies and all that stuff. You have wyverns, drakes, you have worms, and then in some stories, granted, that stuff is age, like described as age differences, whereas some stories, like I think we had this discussion before. Someone asked the question like what a worm is, and I had to bring this description up. You have your age differences, and then you have species differences. But my thing is, like, you say Elder Dragon.
Yes.
And that's supposed to be like the biggest, baddest of the dragon.
That's your dragons are your lords. Your kings are Elder Dragons, and you got the dragon, gods, which are like emperors.
So not everything has a dragon, like a dragon god. Like a lot of time, like inside the Guild Wars 2, you like the example you gave, the Elder Dragons are the god-like being. They fight against the gods.
But there's been in Guild Wars 2, there's been like hints of that there's something above the Elder Dragons, something that created the Elder Dragons. The Elder Dragons do represent elements, death, fire, water, ice, all that stuff. But then you have like deities above them.
No, you have the human gods. You have everyone has their own religious thing, and like the human gods, they're not above the dragons. The gods actually kind of fear the dragons because the gods are pretty much pure magic, and the dragons eat magic. And so like the human gods, and I don't know why I'm fucking talking Guild Wars 2, but
dragons.
So Elder Dragons are on the same level as the human gods in Guild Wars 2. There are some hints in some things of other big bads, but like not like, oh, this is bigger than the Elder Dragons type shit.
Okay,
there's a lot of other.
Okay, so can we just like go back because we're going fucking off board again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reskinning of the dragons.
More variety in the dragons.
I mean, the dragons look good. I'm just saying, there could be a little bit more character to the dragons themselves. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed.
I'm not saying
100%.
I'm not saying they look shit. I'm not saying they look horrible. I'm just saying if there are something like an Elder Dragon, which in most MMORPGs or any fantasy based lore, it is like it could be or it should be a little bit more have a little bit more character. That's all I'm saying.
I was extremely happy to see it in 2017 when it was a red dragon. When we first saw it, I was okay seeing it. I pointed out that it was pretty much a reskin when we saw it again in the live stream in 2020 December. And I'm not surprised to see that it's reskinned again. It's just a blue dragon. I'm like, it looks good, and I'm happy to see it the first time. Second time, meh. Third time, meh. It's just a reskin. But the thing is like you take up 1, 2, 3 pictures of the director's letter showing off just the same angles of this dragon that we've seen in like all the time, but.
Can I say something that I don't mean in any like in a mean way or in a toxic way or in a negative way or in any sort of destructive way? And that's the thing.
Sure.
if you reskin any sort of monster, any sort of NPC, it puts it on the same level as a slime for me. That's my thing. You know, red slime, blue slime, green slime, red bear, blue bear, green bear. Same thing with, you know, dragons. It's nothing, you know, like, hey, yeah, dragons are super, you know, toxic or powerful. It's more like I like to, you know, I like my NPCs to have a little bit more character. That's all.
Same.
That's all.
Same. And I'm not like, there's nothing wrong with using like the same skeleton or like the same kind of stuff, but like if you're going to do that, like doing this wouldn't be as bad. Like doing a blue dragon wouldn't be as bad if you just changed up maybe like the horns. You moved around some spikes. Maybe if this was with the ice dragon, you'd add some ice places, like make some crystalline stuff. I don't know. It was supposed to be ice. Make it more icy.
Yeah.
Like change around some stuff. Make it more unique to like make each variation unique. It was supposed to be like a lich dragon, which is kind of what I get from the wings, but it's not like it's not an undead dragon. It's just the wing kind of look like more lichy than the
Yeah, I think the other ones don't have holes through the wings like
they
this
have
one.
some holes, but not as many as this, and this one's like skin's more taut.
I mean, it is.
Because I noticed that it has the skin. The skin's similar. I just didn't notice the holes in the other one.
No, there are also holes in the other one. It's. Wait, let me just do a little.
It's not nearly as many holes.
No, it's the exact same holes. It's the exact same holes.
They're just hard.
They're just harder to see because of the green.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is.
And we don't get a back view of the red one.
It is a complete reskin. Everything is, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I brought this up. It's not like the dragon model in itself looks awesome. The dragon, you know, the skins, they look great. They're really well done. The textures are really awesome. I'm not having a problem with that. I'm not saying Intrepid Studio is doing a bad job. I'm just saying when it comes to something like Elder Dragons, me personally, it's my personal taste, right? I just like to have a little bit more character to something that is as powerful as an Elder Dragon. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed, 100%.
All right, so then they're going into a bunch of other things that Stackerson can read for himself. Nothing really. And they hired, I think it was 27 more people. And then they were showing off this. What the hell is this? That's what I wanted to ask somebody, but I forgot. What's that thing? Yoni.
What's what thing?
The thing.
Oh,
the golem looking thing?
Yeah, the thing.
All right. I know where it is, but I don't know if I can say where it is because it was in the. It's.
I mean, the picture.
The picture's out there, but like it doesn't like I know where it is, but the director's letter doesn't describe where it is. But I don't know, so I don't know if I can say where it is.
That's stupid. Now I want to know. What is it? Tell me.
Just guess. It's like a corrupted thingy, probably. I don't actually know what was said. I assume it was in PI chat, but I have not.
No, I really like this is straight up.
I don't
NDA,
think. I don't think it's an
Alpha 1 stuff.
Elf. I don't think it's an ancient. It looks weird. It looks more like a. Like honestly, I first thought it's like something like a Naru from World of Warcraft, but I was like, yeah, because I don't like it. Looks alien to me. It looks.
I think they're supposed to look alien. We were already told that the whatchamacallit group, they're supposed to kind of look alien to us.
Yeah, but they look. This looks different than the ancients.
This is an ancient. I'm just gonna say it. This is an ancient.
This is, but not a high.
Yeah, this is an ancient.
Not a high tier one.
No, not long. No, not like a high tier one. This is like a
slave.
But this is an ancient. I don't know about slave. Like, all right, so like, when you say ancient, like so the thing about the ancients and the thing that was described when they first showed off, like what the ancient, like when they like during the live stream, that when they first showed off the ancient, and he described like when he was describing what we were seeing in the picture.
Yes.
He described that like they're very alien to what we think. They no longer have their like original physical form. They've morphed it into a form that's easier to consume, essence. They no longer have their original physical form. They've morphed it. They've changed it. They're completely alien to us in every way. You could definitely think more like Elder Gotti. And that's kind of how they're kind of explained.
What do you mean Elder Gotti?
So, the Elder Gods are supposed to be completely alien. We can't even fathom what they're like. You have the description of what Cthulhu's like, the giant squid face thing, but like that's not like his actual true form. If you actually look upon his true form, you're supposed to go mad. That's just what.
Oh, there's more. Okay, I did not know that. So
yeah, there's more like
the agents are something and something completely different, and this is pretty much something else, something they evolved to change into to be more
to be better at getting the essence.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks funky. I just hope we don't see a lot of those, because I don't think I would like looking at those things every day.
The way they move is so interesting.
Okay, don't break your PI thing. Okay, so then they were talking about, what else were they talking about?
It's a lot of
community
going
stuff.
back over stuff, community stuff. Oh, I think in the letter, I don't remember where it is. 1 sec.
There was another reskin of a goblin.
I think we've seen this one where they were all like huddled around each other, like they were all dancing around a fire.
I don't remember.
And you saw a goblin shaman.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Anything,
good letter.
Anything? I mean, the letter. I'll be honest with you. The letter by itself, there was nothing like super major interesting in there.
I thought they talked about bringing back
Alpha
1 upgrades.
Oh,
yeah, they were talking about that. They even said if everything goes well, he will bring back Alpha 1 access, which at this point I'm okay with.
I think it'll be after the February test, and probably if they did it, it'll probably. I think they talk about doing it after February.
Yeah, I think it's if the February test goes well, and they can. They think they can bring more people, and they'll bring them.
I mean, another thing they talked about is that, which is if they open it up again, I would assume they fixed all the server problems. That's how I look at it. If they open up.
Well, I mean, he says that he's opening up again. This is a true alpha, and expect there to be issues and not a complete game.
Yeah, so. I know, but saying if he decides that they can open up Alpha 1 sales again, I'm just gonna go with the assumption that okay, if they're opening this up again, the servers are now somewhat stable, because otherwise they wouldn't open it up again. That's my train of thought.
I guess my thing is
that's a
decent train of thought. I guess I don't know like what stability issues they might be having. If it's an issue they don't think is related to number of people, then maybe.
Yeah, because we can't talk about previous testings.
Yeah. Another thing they talked about is what is it like February? They want to bring back or bring up a new website.
Yeah, they want to redo the website.
So maybe they will bring back the content creator program in February.
Maybe. I want two-factor authentication be fixed.
Well,
I'm tired of doing that.
Broken?
I'm just tired of fucking re-entering it every fucking time.
Okay, that's
and like that was the thing that was the thing that you had to do. I mean, if you log on a website, yeah, but like like two-factor authentication, yeah. After a certain period of time, it would just kick you out, and you'd have to relog your two-factor authentication. I think it was like 10, 15 minutes. It would kick you out of the website. Like, it still does that. It still kicks you out of the website after 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
Like, logs you out, and then you have to log back in and retype in all your two-factor authentication stuff. It's not like, hey, remember me, and I'm just logged in for like however long I'm logged in. It logs me into the forum just fine, but when I'm in the shop, it kicks me out of the shop after 15 minutes, and I have to log in. Same thing with the APOC stuff. Every time I logged into APOC, I was so like, I just don't want to log into APOC. I don't want to play APOC because like every time I put the launcher, it didn't remember I hit the remember me thing. And like every time it did not remember me, I had to re-put in my two-factor authentication thing each and every time I wanted to launch the APOC launcher. It was very, very.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's gonna get fixed one day.
It's a safety. It's a safety thing. I get that.
Yeah.
It's the fact of two-factor authentication. But the remember me thing is supposed to be like, hey, I don't have to log in every time.
Right.
That's supposed to be like to fix the login thing, and like that's a small little annoyance. People like the remember me thing, but like the two-factor authentication thing, you gotta grab your phone, you gotta open up the app, you gotta type in the code that like has a timer on it. So if you're already like in a short amount of time, you have to like wait that extra time. If you're not confident, you can type in the code fast enough, which I don't know.
Okay, is there anything else in the letter that is worth talking about? Because I don't think.
Are you happy with the letter?
I mean, let me put it. Okay, go first.
Go ahead. I think it's not a bad letter, but I don't know if this is just because like I know like most of it is just a recap over like basic stuff, not like going in detail on anything. It's just like a basic overview of like stuff that's happened in the past year, like, talking about like how bad 2021 was, explaining like what that like the 50th time, like why they're working at home. A lot of it's fluff. Then you get, and then like I
wouldn't say fluff. Wow, I just said that.
What's another word?
I just said that.
What's another word? What's another way you would describe it as? Because fluff also doesn't seem appropriate to me, but it's the only word that I get.
Okay, we're going there. So when I in the past, when I brought up the term fluff, I meant, talking about stuff that nobody wanted to do, like nobody cared about, after huge information droughts. Because that was the thing with the first letter, right? So with this letter, going based on the past 3 months, there is not much they could put in there. I agree. We have a lot of gameplay. We got Alpha 1 dates. We got self-publishing. We got, new hires, new website. There is like literally nothing else at this point, without people being really greedy and trying to, get information that they don't need at the moment. I wouldn't say it's a fluff piece. I think it's a nice, passionate start into the new year for Ashes.
All right, so it's a nice start for the new year. I'll probably say that, but like you got to think about it. This is not like I don't know if this is supposed to like. It's not like a New Year thing. It's a recap of the last quarter. It's last quarter's review.
It's last quarter review. That works.
So I don't know. Like I was saying, I don't know if this is just because I already know all this stuff. Because number one, I watch and listen to like everything that's said, and number two, I'm PI. Number three, I'm already playing the alpha test. So I've seen this dragon 3 times. Like most of this stuff is just like a review, like simple review, not going super deep into things. they're talking about the new website. The most interesting things here are, hey, their new website, and they might be bringing back Alpha 1 upgrades. As far as the pictures go, comparing to other director's letters, it's a dragon we've seen multiple times in the same angles. We've seen it multiple times. 3 different shots of this dragon. A video that's already been posted several times. A Alpha 1 date thing that we've already seen, like we got in the last letter. So this is like a rethink from last letter, and this isn't even talking about the Alpha 1 all that much. We do see a new form of ancient that like I said, I've already seen, but like is new to people. So that's kind of the thing. Like another thing, like yeah, it's good for new people.
Yeah,
and
it's always been the case.
I'm not trying to.
As well as people who aren't following it too closely.
I know.
Exactly,
and that's why I'm saying is like I'm not trying to be too judgy on this.
No,
like why I said like I don't want to say
it shouldn't be. I mean, like honestly, like what more? I think the only thing we could really ask for right now, but we can't, it would be a full release.
No, I don't
so that's what I'm saying.
So
that's what I'm saying. The letter, it is a really good letter. It's a really well done letter. It is good for new. We know all this stuff. We hang out on the Discord every day. So there's not much they could have put in that letter. I mean, like for example, like something that I was not aware of was the hires and, you know, for example, the website. So I do appreciate, that information in the letter, because I don't feel like, you know, bugging Maggie or Toast every day, like, hey, do you have new information? Do you have new information? So yeah, I think it's a good letter. It's not like, wow, best letter ever, but it's a good way to start the new year if you're somebody that is not involved with Ashes on a daily level. It's just the way I see it.
I could agree with that. If you're not following all the current ways they post information, like social medias, all the social medias, the Discord, if you don't watch the live streams, you don't watch the YouTube, if you're just not following it and you're just like, hey, I want a summarized version of like everything that's happened, like just give me an update. Hey, what's going on? Where are we at right now? This is okay.
Yeah.
I think we've lingered too long on this.
Yeah.
I mean, your camera died, Stackerson.
No, I accidentally clicked into a channel. So
all right, so there's only one other topic today. I
mean, there was some cosmetic leaks, but yeah, we'll just do this other topic.
No,
I think.
Yeah, I don't
so
know
I saw another content creator. Again, I don't have anything against the content creator. I don't have anything against his opinion. Everybody has a right to.
Sounds like
opinion.
You disagree with their opinion.
I do disagree with their opinion. I'm not like I want to make sure, like, I'm not trash talking their opinion. I just disagree with said opinion. All right.
All right, let's just jump into it.
Okay, so there was this YouTube video, right, where somebody claimed, you know, something that Ashes is missing is an LFG tool or an LFR tool. Like LFR, if you people don't know what it is, it means looking for raid, where you click a button and you get and you get automatic filled into, you know, either a group or a raid. This tool is really you see it in most games have it. You just, you know, you're like, hey, you know, click a button, don't even talk to the people. Like mostly, like I am playing Shadowlands right now, so when I do mythic raids, not raids, mythic dungeons, everything till like +8, or, you know, just custom like in like non-heroic raids or just dungeons or anything where you need people for, I can just queue it with a tool that puts me in a group with a tank, a healer, and 3 DPS, and that's it. I don't have to talk to the people. And I do understand why in this day and age a lot of people think that this sort of tool is required And to those people, I would just like to say, if you think this is required, then I am pretty sure that Ashes of Creation is not for you.
I mean, okay, whoa. I mean, we don't have to do that. But
oh no, I'm doing that.
I mean, for starters, my biggest annoyance, which I think we go down this trail every now and then, where it's like making raids or dungeons acceptable, and something that Steven has been saying from the beginning is having different content for different people.
Yeah.
So it's like you are assuming this game is going to be well, where the only way you can progress your character is by going into this group content. That's not true. Pretty much all gear is tradable. If you do something that gives you good money that you do solo, you can then buy the gear that people are getting from group content. At the very least, maybe you could just craft it yourself. Maybe you don't even need them. But so I guess that's where I'm coming from. This is coming from an idea that this is WoW, and the only way you're going to be able to progress your character is by going into dungeons and raids. No, and I think that is not. That is the first flaw with this logic, is that you have to do that. Therefore, you need to make it more acceptable for everyone.
I think they're just wanting. I don't even think it's like I'm a solo person. I need to. I don't think that's where this is going. I think this is going of like they want it to be easier to find. Like they want to do the group. Like they want to do that group content, but they don't want to.
They don't want to do group content. They don't want to. They want to. They want to. Okay, here's my problem with this whole thing. In my opinion, World of Warcraft, the original way World of Warcraft was being played, died with Cataclysm, with the Dragon Soul with the Dragon Soul raid, because that's when Looking for Raid was introduced. So looking for me, making a group to do group content is a social experience that you had way back in the day. Like for example, I'm just gonna take World of Warcraft for an example. Throughout Classic or even Burning Crusade, you were standing in your major city and spamming, like, hey, looking for a healer for Sulfurak, I need a tank, I need a healer, I need 3 DPS, and then that whole interaction with other players created relationships, right? Created an extra level of experience playing the game.
Created community?
No, not necessarily community, because you might never ever run into those people again. They might stop playing, but at that moment, because you interact with those people, you created a conversation, and that's a different level of experience on top of just doing the normal dungeon or raid. Now with tools like this, you literally do not have to talk with anybody. You press a dungeon, right, and it's automated, right? And I feel like a lot of people the thing that it makes easier is getting into content, but not by the means of a skill cap or something that is out of your hands. It just makes it easier, and I got the feeling that a lot of people prefer this sort of way because it lets them get loot easier. I don't done it. The problem is, and why this will never ever work in Ashes, is first up, no fast travel. Secondly, servers don't work with each other. So there you go. That's my whole thing.
I mean, yeah, I didn't think about that part, but yeah, because of how localized people are.
Exactly, everything is
and
localized.
How you don't have the same pool because you don't have cross server.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then there's the other part that makes this kind of a risky tool to even consider using, which is you don't know if they're like a spy, a PvP spy. They might be just they join your group, they see what you guys get, and then they try to have a group ready to snipe it from you when you're done with the dungeon.
No,
or snipe a portion of it from you.
Like honestly, for me, the thing that's why I hate LFR or LFG is it just takes away the social experience that comes with MMORPGs. People that like this sort of system are people that probably would have a way better time playing like a looter shooter, like, I don't know, The Division or something like that. Right?
So they don't have the global kind of like looking for group thing, but they do have bulletin boards.
Yeah, but they're localized. They're localized.
So that's what I was about to say. Is like they're like, so people that are that for the, I'm with you guys about the people that want those group finder things. I took this as people wanting the easy way out of finding a group, like pugging for a dungeon or a raid. They don't tell, like, these aren't like, they're not meant to teleport you to the people are looking for, like, you're just looking for people in the node that you're in that are looking for groups and raids. You're not going to be instantly teleported those people. You're all going to have to like group up and travel there. But there are bulletin boards for if you're looking for a group and you don't want to just type LFG all the time inside chat and be drowned out by chat, or like have to make a separate, like, they could make a separate LFG chat thing too. But that'll probably be drowned out by a bunch of but bulletin boards are the thing that they chose to go with.
Yeah, that's fine.
Up
that's
the job and the raid you're trying to do. You post up the job, your class, job type, all that stuff on a bulletin board. You go to the city, you go to that bulletin. Everyone can go to that bulletin board and see what groups are doing. It's still a social thing, but it's more localized and all that stuff.
That's
more clean.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's fine by me. But having something that teleports you all over the place and lets you not, because here's the thing, if
well, okay, so this is getting tricky because I technically consider the bulletin board like an LFG tool. Are we saying that that's like not
okay? LFG tools, okay, let me clarify this. LFG tools for me is something I press a button and I don't have to interact with anybody, talk to anybody, right? Without.
So you're talking about just the queue system?
No, it's not really a queue system. It's more like, if you use a bulletin board, whoever puts up, hey, I want to do a raid or a dungeon run, there's interaction between you and him because you don't instantly get like put into his group. LFG tools take that whole interaction away. Like you don't have any control over who you get put into a group with.
Was this what the viewer was, or the video creator was asking for? Because I guess another part of WoW's LFG tools is just the pre-made group thing, which basically is a bulletin board.
Yeah, that's a
where you say fine. I'm looking for a group, and you can add notes like what you're looking for healer.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
That is fine. That is a bulletin board. If that is localized, and they're so fast travel, then yeah, that is fine. Even a completely world open bulletin board from you, which you probably will have at some point. Some discords be like, hey, I want to do a dungeon run. I'm on this server. You're gonna have discords with server this and that. That's gonna be fine, But having an in-game tool that puts you into any group and then ports you to the dungeon, No, that is lazy. That kills the social interactions with which for me is a big thing about MMORPGs.
Yeah, no, I don't like it just because kind of the comment you said about the looter shooter, because when you do that, you kind of turn an MMO into a looter shooter,
exactly.
Where the world is just a giant lobby, and you queue up and you just get teleported to whatever dungeon, or I mean, looter shooters basically have the same thing, where it's like you get teleported to like some small instance area and you do your thing for your loot, then you get kicked out back to the lobby and you queue up again.
Yeah, exactly. That's like that's why I'm right now I'm playing World of Warcraft, but mostly for the stories, right? You got 4 different story arcs that I want to experience, so that's why I'm playing it. But besides that, it literally feels like a fucking looter shooter. World of Warcraft right now, it has the same issues that made me quit. I only play for the story right now, but having those options, I get why studios thought it's a good idea to have it in there. And I think that's also one of the reasons why Azure's gonna have a lot of problems down the line, because a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I don't want to fucking travel 50 minutes to go to one dungeon.
Well,
that's the mentality.
I'm gonna be a broken record. I mean, one of Ash's goal is to make, because I mean that's the problem that with a lot of those games is the content is group content. If you're not doing the group content, there's nothing for you to do. Ashes wants to solve this by having like the religions, the social organization. Social organizations are specifically, I believe, he called out as something that you're supposed to. It's supposed to be pretty easy for you to do solo on your own time, and it's supposed to have its own rewards that have meaning. I mean, like that's kind of a tricky thing to say because we have to see what the rewards are and like when people actually want them and stuff like that. But yeah, and then there's also like the whole boating and all that other stuff to do. Like the only thing to do, Ashes won't. The only thing to do in Ashes will not be large scale or group dungeons and group raids. There'll be more.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, like, you don't. First up, you cannot have LFG and LFR tools in Ashes. Will never work. And secondly, there will be a lot more to do than just that stuff. And that's what I feel like I think a lot of people that are interested in Ashes need to understand, that this is not going to be World of Warcraft when it comes to the loot mechanics. Because literally every time I do a dungeon, like, I get my own individual loot. There is no group loot. You play an MMORPG and there is no group loot. There are random loot drops throughout dungeons, that you can share, whatever. But everybody, as soon as a boss gets killed, everybody gets their own individual loot. How fucking dumb is that? That is literally a looter shooter.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of just what the WoW has become.
Yeah.
So
that's what
it's kind of sad.
It is sad, and I think on one side, yes, it is sad. On the other side, it's also the reason why WoW has been as successful as it is right now, right?
I don't know if I agree with that.
Shadowlands is the
it's successful and it's a fun game, but I think part of that has to do with there's not all the other games out there are the same game.
Yeah,
it just WoW does it the best.
So that's what I'm saying that's what I want to get at is I think making people try to enjoy Ashes the way Ashes is meant is going to be really hard because people are used to games like WoW.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of it's like I think it's one of those things where like if they just lead the players down the right breadcrumbs, like players aren't going to have the same priorities they would in WoW. It's like, oh, I need to level up my node. I'm focused on leveling up my node. They're not even thinking about like doing the dungeons, or I want to do this with my social organization. But if they have the proper incentives, they're not going to even be thinking about doing the dungeons.
See, like the thing that Ashes, this is what I'm waiting for to see how Ashes will do this. The reason why WoW, or a lot of people always keep coming back to WoW, is that instant gratification thing. No matter what you do in WoW, you get an epic, you get a mount. Dude, like literally, like, mount farming is a thing. Right?
Mount farming is a thing.
So
watch Asmongold stream. The biggest streams are not even related to the bait. Like what the base
it's
game loot is. It's like his mount offs.
Exactly.
Which I love them. I love doing that stuff too. And it's like it's sad though that's like I get more fun after like trying to figure out like cool looks than I do really playing the game. That said, Castle Nathrius is kind of fun.
But this is the thing that all the Kickstarter MMOs that are present right now promoted when they first went into Kickstarter. This is something that Ashes of Creations promoted. They're not trying to be a WoW killer. They're not trying to do all that stuff. They're not. But they're trying to do is become they bring back the experience that
the classic
classic MMO playing experience, and that's not that's not what WoW currently is. WoW is currently like extremely casual friendly. They're not trying to do the Eastern MMO kind of route with things. That they are all of them promote themselves as trying to bring back that classic feeling you got when like old school MMO kind of play. The grouping, the fact that they are truly like MMOs, massively multiplayer games.
Yeah, I just feel like you know, because there are people out there that think, you know, LFG, LFR tools are a necessity for MMORPGs. For MMORPGs these days, I think that is a little bit sad, and it's gonna be interesting to see, because pretty much Intrepid is gonna try to reintroduce a new generation to what made us all fall in love with MMORPGs, and that whole process is gonna be interesting to watch.
I think with the finding group thing, it's a preconceived. It's like everyone has their, like, to me the group finder, the bulletin board is a group finder. That's the plainest, most simplest thing. It's an okay way of doing the group finder thing. People that want more than that, you're gonna have to explain like what your version of a group finder is. Like everyone has their, like.
I mean, I already explained that.
Yeah, I know.
No, but he's just saying, like, the person who you were talking or making this comment about. Yeah, we need to understand what they want and why they want it.
Yeah,
or why they think they need it.
And it's the same thing. Like you see with a bunch of the forum posts. Like everyone has everyone, especially all the new people you see. 2017, 2018, all the original like Ashes Creation peeps had that, like. The game was brand new. We were all theory crafting and had that, like, we were all saying like how the game, like theory crafting what the game would be like, saying like, oh, it should have this to make it the perfect game. Steven's already said it's not going to be the perfect game. He just wants it's not going to be a WoW killer. It's to me his game, and he wants to like bring life back to MMOs. Like he doesn't expect it to be the perfect game. He doesn't expect it, like, it's very niche in his own, like it's very niche.
Yeah, and I feel like people need to understand that there is more to MMORPGs than just PvP, than just, you know, loot. You know, MMORPGs
Heresy.
No, fuck off.
Okay.
MMORPGs, yes, but you know, there is loot, there is competition, there is progress, but they're also an RPG with a lot of social aspects. Like a lot of social aspects, even if they're toxic or not. And anything that takes away from people interacting with each other, is it trading, is it talking, is it, you know, setting up, you know, a group for dungeon or raid, pretty much turns your MMORPG into a looter shooter. So tools like the World of Warcraft looking for raid or looking for group tool, where you just have to press a button and you get automatically put into a group and get ported to the instance, right? Turns your game into a looter shooter for me personally. That's the only thing that's why I'm saying in Ashes those tools will never work, and they will never happen.
It goes against the core design philosophies of the game.
Yes.
And if they ever did add it, it would mean that like the game is in a bad spot.
Yes.
Like, I mean, the game, like, numbers are dying. They probably have to merge servers together for population.
I mean, right now, going based on their design philosophies, I don't see it. Down the line, 2-3 years into release, servers are dying, people cannot do content. There needs to be a fix. You know, so I can see maybe down the line as an option. But at the moment, for release, I don't see it. Makes no sense to me to have something like that.
I don't know. I would hope they would take another approach.
That's just my whole opinion on.
Make sure people have content to do, not necessarily.
I mean, honestly,
to do the hard content.
If somebody feels like, yeah, I cannot do content here because, you know, lack of people, then hey, maybe offer, you know, if a server drops under a certain population of active players, give them the option for free, you know, server transfer.
So I've had this talk about like how if you were gonna merge servers, if you say overpopulation happened, or like overpopulation happened 3 months, and they had not even the best way to describe this. If you were gonna merge servers, the way Ashes of Creation is currently set up, you couldn't do it seamlessly.
Why not merge servers? No.
No, you couldn't do it seamlessly. Like it would be something wrong with the way they did it.
The only way you can merge servers is either completely delete the one server, take all the people from one server, add them to the other one, or delete both and put both on a completely new server that starts fresh.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting to. So I was talking with someone with this, like, probably the solution would be to do like they look at the servers, say like these numbers are too low, these numbers are too high, or they could just do it like in a natural way, and just like have it as a periodic thing that just occasionally occurs in the world, like a new apocalyptic event.
What would that do?
You'd have to escape. Like if you failed the apocalypse event, if your server failed the apocalypse event, then
your server gets sucked into another server.
Yeah, your server gets.
That makes sense because it's like, yeah, your server just died. You cannot defend it. You guys are now in this other. I actually like that solution.
Me too.
But I guess one thing we need to think about, because I mean we're always worried about nodes being progressed. Like if you have two servers, they both have their node progressed, and then it'd be kind of shitty to decide one or the other. Or even it's also kind of shitty to be like, okay, you guys just need to reprogress. But if the server population's really dying, I would think a lot of the nodes would have, or at least the nodes in one server would have started to atrophy. If the population is really that bad. So I wonder if it's really that hard to be like, okay, your nodes are atrophying. Maybe still have that event, but then, yeah, suck them over to a new server.
Let's make that a topic for next time, because we went over our 1 hour mark, and I got
server merging.
Server merging. Let's make that a topic for next time. I think that's a good topic.
Do you want to do the 24th or the 31st?
When is the podcast? When is the live stream?
30th.
Live stream should be the 29th.
Then the 31st.
31st? Okay.
31st. Yeah, that should be fine. Alright, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks you two for joining, and we will be back in 2 weeks.
3
weeks. Alright. Peace.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
See ya.
Where's the stop button? Oh, there it is. Later.